So you just bought a new Sony TV. Let me be the first to say, nice choice. Sony has some amazing models to choose from, so it's likely you've picked the right one because it's really hard to go wrong. But now what? It doesn't just jump out of the box and set itself up. That's your job. And that's what we're here to help with. By the end of this video, you should feel confident that you're getting the most from your brand new TV. Hi, I'm Carl from Apt. The TV I have here is the Sony X85K series, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the best ways to enjoy your new Sony TV, no matter which model you chose or choose if you're still shopping. I'll be talking about what to do when you get your TV home, some tips on how to get the most out of the picture, and some of our favorite accessories. And I'll add some time codes so you can jump right to whatever section you want. Now, for those of you watching who don't have a Sony TV just yet, we have a segment on this channel we call
Briefly Before You Buy.
I'm gonna put 1 minute up on the clock and talk about everything you should know before you decide which model to get. Ready? Go. Sony makes 3 kinds of TVs, LED, mini LED, and OLED. LED is the best way to save some money if you're on a budget. Mini LED is the brightest of the 3 and offers great local dimming. OLED has perfect black levels and the most natural looking picture. And all these come in a variety of sizes. The farther you sit from your TV, the bigger the screen you'll want to go with. 9 feet or more, you should be going with a 75-inch or larger. 6 to 8 feet away, 50 to 65 inches is good. Less than 6 feet away, and you'll want to stick with a 50-inch or smaller model. And don't forget about inputs. Those vary from model to model, so be sure that whichever one you choose has enough to accommodate any sources you're going to be plugging in. Back to the video. Let's start at the top. The first thing you'll need to do after you get your TV home is unbox it. This may seem like a simple thing to do, but you definitely want to take your time here. If your TV's under 50 inches, you don't necessarily need a second person to help. They're light and pretty easy to handle solo, but if you have any doubts at all or the screen is larger than 50 inches, do yourself a favor and get a second person to help you out. I had Andrew help me out. Oh. But if Andrew's not available in your neighborhood, you may need to try asking one of your own friends. The last thing you need is a broken TV before you even have a chance to plug it in. If you're going to be putting your TV on a stand, the first thing you'll need to do is install the included pedestal. That varies from model to model, so make sure you follow the instructions Sony provides in the box or check out one of our pedestal assembly videos for help. It's typically a pretty straightforward process. This one, for example, goes like this. After that's done, it's time to attach the power cord and start plugging in your cables for all of your sources, if you have any. Sources are things like video game consoles, Blu-ray players, streaming media devices, or even that gold-plated soundbar I got for being awesome. You got for being awesome. And speaking of soundbars, assuming you're hooking yours up with an HDMI cable, you'll want to connect this to the HDMI input on the TV labeled ARC or EARC. That allows the sound to go from the TV to the soundbar. It's especially important to use this instead of the TV's optical audio output if you have a soundbar that works with Dolby Atmos or DTS:X, so you can get those awesome height effects. If you don't have any of those, I'll be talking about some of our favorite options later in the video. But if you do, you'll want to attach the cords before you put the TV in place because it's a lot easier to see what you're doing. And here's a tip we've found to be pretty useful. If you have multiple sources to plug in that use the same type of cord, it's a good idea to label each cord at the source end with a piece of tape that says what source it goes to. But don't connect it to the source just yet. It can make it a little more difficult to get the TV in place. Once the TV's in place, that's when you'll want to hook them up. Streaming media devices are kind of the only exception here since a lot of them have the connection built into the actual device, like this Roku streaming stick. Now that you have all your connections made and the power cord plugged into the back of the TV, it's time to set it in place. Using the help of Andrew, or whoever you got to help you, carefully lift the TV and set it into place on your TV stand or wherever its permanent home is going to be, and plug those nicely labeled cables into their sources. Finally, plug in the TV's power cord, put the batteries into the remote, and turn on the TV. Next, you're going to navigate through a series of setup screens. Gone are the days of being able to turn on your TV and start watching. Now you have to jump through several hoops before you can even start to think about watching anything. It starts out easy. What's your language? What's your country? Not that bad, right? But then you get to the Google TV setup screen. This can be a little intimidating if you're not familiar with the feature or you don't already have a Google account. You will need one of those for this to work. If you want the most out of your TV, you really should set this up. You can always turn it off later if you change your mind. To put it simply, this is really what makes your smart TV smart. You get content suggestions, it lets you use your voice search to navigate the TV, and maybe most importantly, you need it to download extra apps. Most of the Sonys come with Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, and Disney Plus preloaded, but there are tons more you can choose from if you're signed into Google TV. A couple of my favorites are Pluto TV, which gives you over 100 channels of free content to watch, and Plex if you're looking for a simple way to manage all your downloaded media. The other screen to be aware of during setup is the one labeled Power Saving. This is meant to lower the TV's power consumption, but it comes at the cost of the picture quality by not allowing the TV to get as bright as it's capable of. To get the best possible picture, you're going to want to set this to off, and just like Google TV, you can always change it later, but you likely won't want to. All set? Good. Now it's time for the fun part. Once you're at the point where you can actually start watching stuff, you'll want to go through the picture settings. There's lots of people out there who just set the TV up and start watching. It's not the worst thing you could do, but you just bought an awesome new TV. Take advantage of it. Sony loads these up with some great preset picture settings that are going to be much better than the factory setting. What I recommend doing is putting on your favorite movie or a show and get to the scene you like. Then press the quick menu button on the remote. It's the one with the little gear icon on it. Now you're going to go to picture settings option and scroll through until you find the one that looks best to your eye. Maybe it winds up being the one that was on right out of the box, but it probably won't be. The one we've found to look the best universally is the cinema setting, but as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Just ask my wife. Next, you're going to want to check out the motion flow settings. You may have heard the term soap opera effect before, and this is where it comes from. Opinions are varied here, but we generally turn it off. If you want to try it out though, there is an auto setting on most of these that works well too. You can also customize the settings if you really want to, but we found our results with auto to be really just as good and far less frustrating. Just like the picture settings, try it out and see which you like the looks of the best. Now that you've chosen your picture and motion settings, it's time to sit back and enjoy that amazing picture on your new TV. But when it's time to take a break, here are some of those sources I talked about earlier that I think make the experience a whole lot better. At the top of the list is a soundbar. TVs for the most part don't come with very impactful audio systems anymore, and setting up a surround sound system can be time-consuming and difficult if you're new to it. That's where soundbars come in. These take almost no time to set up and instantly improve your whole home theater experience. Sony makes some terrific models that work really well with their TVs like the HTA5 and 7000, but soundbars aren't brand specific, so look around and see which one you like the best. A Blu-ray player is another accessory that's worthwhile considering. They're not as popular as they once were because of all the streaming options built into TVs now, but they can come in really handy. First off, they don't just play Blu-rays, they can play DVDs too, even CDs if you're so inclined. Just don't try and jam a VHS tape in there, it won't work and it's not covered under warranty. Another big benefit of a Blu-ray player is if your network is prone to outages, you'll still be able to watch a movie if you have it on a disc. Another device to consider adding is a streaming media player. There are a ton to choose from, and the user interfaces are generally easier to use than what comes built into the TV. My favorite is the Roku Streaming Stick 4K Plus. However, there is some debate in the office between this one and the Roku Ultra. This tiny little device packs a big punch. If you're someone who doesn't want to set up the Google TV feature, adding one of these lets you download just about any streaming app available. It even comes with its own Roku channel that has a ton of free content to watch. And maybe the best part, it's extremely affordable at under $70. Then we have maybe the most popular add-on, a gaming system. The PlayStation 5 is our choice to use with a Sony TV, but you can hook up an Xbox, Nintendo Switch, or any number of others. These are definitely my favorite add-on because I'm amazing at video games, just don't ask people. If you want to learn more about these, you're in luck too. My co-host Andrew on this channel has put together some must-see videos on all the most popular systems. And don't forget about cables. HDMI is the main one since that's how most of the stuff I just mentioned will connect to your TV, and I would strongly recommend getting one that has a transfer speed of at least 18 gigabits per second to work with newer HD sources. You also have optical audio cables, just don't forget to take those little plastic caps off the ends before you plug it in, and an Ethernet cable if you want to hardwire your TV into your home network for the best streaming experience possible. Finally, a wall mount. If you plan on putting your TV on the wall, you'll definitely need one of these. There's a few styles to choose from. You've got fixed mounts that mount flat to the wall and offer some slight shifting from left to right. Full motion that lets you move the TV in and out, side to side, and lets you tilt the screen. And a tilt mount that sits flat on the wall and lets you adjust the viewing angle up or down. There are even specialty mounts you can choose from for going over the fireplace or even mounting to the ceiling. Here at Apt, we're surrounded by experts in just about everything related to your home, from small kitchen appliances to giant home theater systems, and we want to share as much of that knowledge with you as we can through this channel. If you have questions about anything you saw in this video, be sure to leave them in the comments section. Or if you liked any of the accessories, we'll have links down below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and most importantly, don't forget to enjoy that new TV. See you next time.